I want to impress you now. This is meant to impress you. Look at that. Wow. Burned down trees. Wow. Dead trees. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. This was a forest fire. Wow. I'm just kidding. I went out for a weekend trip. Still snow up there. That's a permanent glacier. It's a very tiny one. It's September, and most places have no more snow, but here that's just an avalanche. This is a very unstable mountain. And earlier I could sense the sulfur in the air. This is a dormant volcano. If you are not from this area of Canada, yeah, this is a volcano it's moving. So I met few guys earlier. They said that they were told to get out because this is a very active area geologically. Anyway, so that's different topic. Oh, I see a waterfall. Ta-da. Actually, there is a bigger one around the corner, but that's not the purpose of the video. So I'm driving on the highway, and while it was very slow traffic, I exchanged some messages with someone, and I'm told that this person is dealing with another person, very messy person. And I said, yes, I know a couple of people like that. I dealt with similar type of vibe, and I know the reasons, and I know ways out, but it requires lots of work, and not many people have the vitality to work. And this reminded me about some heavy stuff, heavy people with heavy problem on their chest, on their heart. And it made me think and remember how heavy those people are for me. Like coming into close proximity and working and dealing with those people is like, do I want those people around me? Because I'm still thinking of working in the field, like volunteering, whatever stuff I have in my pipe dream. And do I get any rewards, like helping people who don't understand gratitude, don't understand how to be thankful? So I get something. It's not like okay, I do stuff for free, but after a while it's getting tiring, and I need some reward. Thank you, man. Okay, for giving me a sandwich or for giving me a blanket. Okay, and then it makes me feel good that I have significance in someone's life. And like last weekend, I asked in my mind, I asked God, because I don't know who is there to hear. I have no idea. I know someone is listening, and I will not explain now how this one works. Maybe you can connect the dots when you watch a couple of my other videos regarding consciousness and stuff, which for many people is bullshit. But the thing is, if you don't connect to that type of thinking, you don't get this type of messages. And a doctor or a scientist would tell you, yep, that's a sign of, I don't know, they have a name for the disease, schizophrenia. The religious people might say, oh yeah, God talked to you. Because we all know, we Christians or we whatever spiritual people, we know so many people were touched by God, or they got a message or stuff. And non-religious people, especially atheists, they say that are fucking bullshit. These guys, you're crazy. You are so stupid. You go to that freaking church and it's stuff in your mind. And I'm telling you about myself. I don't go to church. I don't fall for religions, and I'm a very open-minded person. Like if someone tells me something, I super analyze and I turn things around to make sure these things make sense and have a logic. And you will say, yeah, of course, everything can make sense, anything can have logic. That's why salespeople sell you bullshit, sell you stuff, because it makes you think it makes sense for you to buy, right? Believe me, I know how to avoid falling into traps and to someone's sales pitch. So I asked in my mind, I asked this entity that I know it knows me. It's like it's inside of my mind somehow, and I asked, is this thing for me? Is it for me to volunteer or to help or to get into then maybe mental health care if I do some sort of a training? Because I don't want to burn out and hate my job and go to work like many people working in the field, go to work and not enjoying it, not enjoying to help other people. That would be stupid to try to do something not enjoyable, and that's not for me. And so I drove here into a remote town, like 120 kilometers away from my place, and I started to drive on a gravel road, and I see two trailers, like two trucks pulling trailers, heavy trailers behind, and a Chinese woman, super Chinese, like it was not Korean, was a Chinese woman, skinny woman in her maybe 50s, wave at me and ask me if I can help them to replace a flat tire. And she was not a beauty or something that makes me go, oh yeah, okay, it's a cool looking chick, I'm going to stop so I can be near a nice good looking woman. No, nothing like that. She was just like a skinny older woman, right? But she has some sort of a thing in coming from her. It's like a goodness. It's like a, and I would stop anyway. And trying to swap this tire, it's a heavy truck, and the thing was attached to a horse trailer or something, and the wheel with the tire, the spare tire, was underneath, attached with a cable and locked with a lock, and they didn't even know how to access that thing. It was like a total mystery. They tried this and that, and the guy had a jack, the guy had sort of a chains around the neck, around the hand, and those were a clue for me. I know those people. And I tried his jack, and it was not powerful enough. So in my little car, I have a 2-ton jack, and even the 2-ton jack was too small for his Ford big pickup truck, big monster pickup truck, heavy, really heavy and loaded. And it took me muscle to use the jack and piece of like a wood block and lift that big truck, get the critter. Yeah, it was some work, like probably an hour job. And I was excited because I saw them not able to work on this thing by themselves. They had no knowledge, and I was so passionate about helping. It's like it felt I was there for a purpose, and I was not something like it was not a feeling like you fucking stupid idiots, you don't know how to replace a tire. No, it's not that feeling at all. It was like a really, really passionate feeling of helping. And I was excited and happy that I was able to help. And I'm done with swapping the tire. She is very impressed. He's also impressed that how come he didn't know. And they had the car manual. The car was bought like 6 months ago, according to them. And how come they could not figure things out with the manual and stuff, especially how to unlock the spare tire underneath, which has a cable. And luckily I had to swap one of those Ford one at my company car, my employer car, and I had to learn the trick. So it was really useful to me. And yeah, that was useful experience, and I felt like these people probably kept waving at other drivers, and I don't know for how long they were waiting there, but I felt like I was at the right time, right place. And then I thought, it's like is this God giving me another message? Because it would be weird. Last weekend I had a very similar encounter, a very similar experience when I asked God to give me some sort of a sign, and I got some signs. I did record my last weekend adventure video, and yeah, you may say, yeah, it's a coincidence, and even this one, it's like it's a stupid coincidence. And the thing is, like 15-20 minutes before I stopped by the beer farm, I asked my wife, I texted her if she wants some beer to donate to some neighbors. She said no. I said okay, I'll find someone who might need it. So I had this beer cans, the organic beer farm in the area. I had it in the car, and I took 2 cans, and I went to this guy. I looked at him, and I felt a compassion. Wow. Because I saw him. Now he was left with the job of taking the dead tire, the punctured tire, the flat tire, and put it in the truck somewhere, using some sort of a tool to unwind or wind up the spare tire cable. So he still had to attach the trailer, the hitch. Another probably 20 minutes work for him, and I saw him, sitting in the dust and doing that stuff. And I'm looking at this guy. He's in his 50s, and I see a child. And I asked him, is she your wife or girlfriend? Have you been married before? And he said, she is my wife for the last 30 years. And I said, it seems that you had a very tough childhood. And the woman is like, she's already how come this guy knows how to swap a tire? She asked me if I'm a mechanic or an engineer. I said no. And how do I know how to do that? I said, I'll tell you later how I know these things. And she's already puzzled how come. And she saw that it requires strength to lift the truck up. And I touched his shoulders, and I told him he is a good man. And she came to me, and she asked me what's my name, and she was trying to be very thankful. She was especially after I gave her 2 beers, and she looked at me, is like, what? Uh, he offered help, and now we get 2 cold beers. So what I'm saying, I'm not trying to brag what I do. This is just one thing that my point is that God gave me a sign. And so she came to my, so I got into my car and I was about to leave, and she came like trying to be thankful, and she looks at me, she put her hands together like a prayer type of hands, and she asked me, she's trying to ask me how to reward me for my help. And I look at her in her eyes, and I saw, um, I don't know, I saw a good person. Especially when she married a guy who had a tough childhood. Those are not easy. Those not easy. People who did not learn love and who were hurt. She took a big job. So I saw something in her eyes. And I said, I know. And it was like a wow moment for me. How come they show up on my way when I was asking for an answer, a feeling like, should I keep thinking of helping others through this type of work, or is a fucking bullshit, stupid dream because it's like maybe midlife crisis or some I'm getting bored at work or whatever BS. I kept thinking and I thought, no, this is another message. This is another message. It's either I thought the future is going to happen and I asked this question knowing my subconscious mind, knowing that I'm going to have this event that will give me some answers, or maybe this God just modified the game, modified the reality. Anyway, so I'm still in a process of analyzing, thinking the experience, which is, like I said, it could be a BS for most people, but to me was meaningful. Why? Because I had that question earlier, just 2 hours earlier. I had that question. I needed a sign, and this coincidence thing, if you want to call it coincidence, showed me that this is the sign. This is the message that came from somewhere. So letting you go, I need to find the hot springs. Take care. Bye bye.